عليك يا عبد الله أن تجاهدها.
Upon you, O slave of Allah, is to strive against your nafs and to work extremely hard in it, and to make it accustomed to the obedience of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to make it accustomed to staying away from Allah's prohibitions, because the nafs is upon what you make it accustomed to. If you make it accustomed to disobedience and laziness and taking Allah's commands lightly, then it will be satisfied with that. Then that which pleases Allah will be difficult for it. That is the nafs. If you make it accustomed to working towards good and hastening to acts of obedience and staying away from disobedience, then it will be satisfied with that. And success is in the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal. However, you are commanded to take the necessary means, and likewise, you, O female slave of Allah, you're commanded to take the necessary means. And some of the Salaf were asked about the striving of the nafs and about exhausting themselves in regards to it. So he said, the nafs's comfort is what I want. Some of our righteous Salaf used to worship abundantly and do many righteous deeds from salah and fasting and hajj and other than that. Some of his companions said to him, aren't you tiring your nafs? So he said, the nafs's comfort is what I want. If the believer strives against his nafs today, then he is striving against it for its comfort, to be saved from the punishment of Allah, to attain the endless bounties on the day of judgment, in the noble abode, the abode of happiness and joy. It will be said to its people on the day of judgment,
O people of paradise, for you is eternal well-being, and you will never fall ill. And for you is eternal life, and you will never die. And for you is everlasting youth, and you will never grow old. And for you is endless bounties, and you will never grieve.
As for this abode, then it is the abode of changes, the abode of distress, the abode of illness and sorrow. Even if it's a long life and he enjoyed a complete life of well-being, death is still his destination. There is no doubt regarding death. Every soul will taste death. The final destination of this abode is death. It's not worth anything. And from the greatest means of attaining khashiyah of Allah and magnifying His sanctity is contemplating over the Quran and increasing its recitation and thinking about the journey after death and what's going to happen after death and thinking about the grave. Will it be a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of the fire? And thinking about what comes after that, after the resurrection and the gathering. Are you from the people of paradise or from the people of hellfire? Thinking about this and giving great concern to this affair is from the means of attaining khashiyah of Allah, and from the means of magnifying Allah, and from the means of hastening to the pleasure of Allah.